So what we talk about here is quite simple in the end. This is not a it's not a teaching where one has to understand or do something. In the end, you don't even have to be present. So it's unconditional. There's nothing asked from you. Um, because basically what's being pointed out is that what happens, this is whole and complete. In that sense, it's everything. It's not everything in the sense that it's everything that exists. It's not this moment or something. No, what happens is whole and complete. There's nothing to be found in it. There's nothing around it. There is no absolute reality hidden somewhere underneath it or within that. What happens is purely itself. And this pure appearance, this pure happening, is incomprehensible. So the totality of what happens can't be understood. No one does that. You don't do that. I don't do that. It's just incomprehensible. And within what happens, within this, what seems to be happening, there seems to be one illusion. That's the illusion of separation. And this illusion of separation is a felt sense. It's not a concept or an idea. It's just an energetic impression. I'm present. There is something that exists, some self-awareness, some self-consciousness, a notion of existence. And all seeking, all hopes for personal fulfillment, all spirituality, theology, philosophy, all those ideas about life, what life is about, what one has to become or what one has to attain, come out of this seemingly subtle notion of existence. That's the me. That's what I would call the me. The notion of existence. And it might even seem very impersonal at that stage because it's just kind of pure presence. I still would regard this as the me. And then sooner or later, there are stories attached. There seem to be a lot of feelings around that and the seeking drive. And out of that seeking drive do come all those concepts and beliefs, stuff like that. So usually in the personal world, it's about how can I become fulfilled? How can I make myself, this me, become fulfilled? And there are numerous ideas by parents, teachers, gurus, society, all kinds of beliefs, ideas from almost everyone, almost every me seems to have a rough idea about how one should live in order to become fulfilled. Spiritual or not spiritual, it doesn't matter. It's about money or power or reputation or spirituality. It's always the same dynamic. And in this meeting, there are no answers. There are no answers to this. Well, actually, it's just one question. How can I become fulfilled? And there are no answers to that. What we talk about here is that the source of seeking, the core of the sense of separation is an illusion. So there is no one. That's meant when I say that there is no one. There is no one separate from wholeness, from the natural reality. There is no one here who has lost something. There is no one here who is unfulfilled and who needs to find fulfillment. That's the impersonal freedom that we talk about here. And the natural reality is nothing else than what seems to be happening. It's us sitting in front of our screens. It's us thinking, breathing, feeling. It's our surrounding, the rooms we sit in. All of that is what seems to be happening. And all of that is naturally whole and complete. It just doesn't happen to anyone. The totality of this doesn't happen to anyone. There is no me. So it's this. It won't get better. There will never be a moment in time when it'll be really more whole and more complete than it is now. It's this, in simple terms. I spoke quite long now, but yeah, sorry. That's funny, and actually, it doesn't make sense in the personal world, and there's no possibility to make it sound logical. Um, uh, so, in liberation or in apparent liberation, two things are happening. On the one hand, it's the turning out that there never was someone, that it always has been a dream, an energetic fantasy. And on the other hand, it's a very direct melting away of that separate energy. That would be the death side of it. So, on the one hand, it turns out that it was never real, that there never was someone called a me. On the other hand, this illusory self experience collapses. And I don't know how to explain that in a way that can be comprehended. It just can't be comprehended, like anything. And I know for a long time in my apparent life, of course, there was the impression to be someone, and that's not there anymore. And in both, there never was a real me. All was just what seemed to have happened, or be what seems to be. Yeah. Not that that's important.
Andreas,
Yes.
hi. Um, However things seem to be, whether they're blissful or not blissful, um, there seems to be a base that that knows that. And spirituality would call that the I am sense, I believe. Usually that's the teaching that there is a substrate or a base that underlies everything else. And it's like that is what we would call the sense of presence. We
Yes.
could, I think, and um, it's like an assumption of some element that persists and remains stable
Yes.
while everything else changes.
Yes.
But actually, like also that it's also like a sense that of a familiarity that continues, that yesterday something was familiar and stable, and that is here today.
Yes. Me.
But but really, that's another step, another assumption, which is not there.
Yes.
The stable element is just imagined.
Absolutely. Totally. I mean, that's the thing. In this notion of existence, there is time, and it has those both aspects. The moment, I'm now here, but as I feel real, it also has this notion of eternity. There is something stable, continuous. So it can feel in both ways. I'm now here, but I'm also eternal. And that's the illusion.
Uh-huh.
That's the
And
illusion. And in a way, one could say it is almost as if the me is looking for the perfect friend. It regards itself as stable, and it looks for something that is like itself, also stable, a state of peace, a state of bliss, something that is always there, just
yeah,
like I am, or
yeah.
God, or an absolute reality. It's looking for the for the perfect lover as an opposite.
And once something persists and remains stable, then you get everything else that can is stable and solid and substantial.
Yes, my
But
peace. Usually, it's my peace. Then I'm then I'm in a stable state of contentment. Yeah,
and there's nothing more to it. It's
that's the
just
whole, that's the whole seeking dynamic.
yeah.
Yeah, it always boils down to this. Because in a very funny way, this notion of presence goes together with a sense of unfulfillment. It's just not enough for itself. You can't just hang around for the next 40 years as a sense of presence and feel fulfilled. It won't happen.
Yeah. Because it's like a glue that is imagined to be there, and that's unsatisfying because there's that quality of persisting is just an illusion.
Yes, exactly. It's a dream that there is a real persistent something,
Something more than simply what seems to be happening.
which is an empty appearance. There is
Yeah.
no reality or stability in anything.
Yeah.
There is no happening as a continuum. It's only feels like that within that dream. Yeah, yeah. And usually that's the personal, the dual experience. I'm here, I'm real, I'm stable, and everything else comes and goes. I'm here, I'm aware, and everything else comes into my awareness and leaves again. The weather, thoughts, feelings, friends, my own body changes, gets older. Only I'm stable. And there are a lot of teachings, which are, of course, personal, which say, I'm the only stable thing here, so I must be the true reality. That's what I can count on me being present. But you can't count on that presence very much, also.
It's taken to be like the most intimate and most familiar and most stable element, but it's just uh, that's and yeah, it's just more.
Bit of
A
smoke.
step. It's a step beyond what seems to be happening.
Yes.
I mean, it itself is what seems to be happening, but there's nothing behind it.
Yes, as an illusion. It's what seems to be happening too, but never as something that's real, only as an illusion, as what it is. An illusion of I am, an illusion of presence. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing to it.
And then there's nothing to anything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, this is everything. It's a timeless appearance, and there's nothing to it. It's just purely what it is. That's it. That's the natural reality. It's not a mystery, or it's just this. It lies open in plain sight. It's all there is. So there's a question in the chat, which is a bit like what we talked about. Will you talk a bit about attributing meaning? Well, yeah, that just belongs to the person. It's a hope. It's a hope that something in this world means something, that something is more important than something else. It's a hope of the seeker. And that's what meaning basically is. It's seeking for fulfillment. And then there is a thought coming. Maybe that's meaningful. Maybe this can give me something. Then a feeling comes. Oh, maybe this is important. What does that mean? And it divides the world into meaningful and more meaningful, depending on how promising it seems. An interesting thought might seem more meaningful because it seems to promise more fulfillment than going to the toilet or something. So it divides its reality into meaning. But it's always connected to this idea, what does this give to me? If it doesn't give anything to me, it's meaningless. If it might give something to me, must be meaningful. That's all. When there is no one, this just collapses. Then everything is equal in that sense. Everything is equally free from the burden of meaning.
And Andreas, the what seems to be a basic sense of familiarity,
Yes.
it's not familiar. It's
No,
not, it's just simply not familiarity.
no. Well, it's not knowing. In a way, everything is itself, so it's closer than being familiar. But the me is living in this feeling of known. That's what the person would regard as familiar. And yes, in a way, it's familiar with itself being there because that's what it experienced its whole life. I'm there again. Okay, feels familiar. I'm experiencing something, feels familiar. That's what makes everything seem known.
And it occurs to me that like that sense of familiarity, it also implies relationship. Like it implies that something that there is the sense of familiarity
Yes,
and the knowing of that, but that is illusory.
absolutely, totally. I mean, separation and relationship are the same thing. And that's how the world seems known to the person. I'm in a relationship with everything, basically, with my thoughts, with my feelings, with my body, with other people, with a moment. And that seems familiar. I experience my thoughts, seems familiar because I know myself and I believe to know what thoughts are. It's a known world, but it's also boring because you just live. The longer you live, the more boring it feels. Another thought. I know thoughts. Same person again. Same friend again. Know that guy.
And that is, would you agree that like that's the kind of the most basic the basic sense to be me is that to be in relation to.
Well, only that's the thing. The me is separate from everything,
Yeah.
which means even from its own body. The body, for me, the body is already an experience. But being separate means the best thing you have is to be in relationship with it. That's why one could also say all seeking is relationship work. How should I relate to thoughts? How can I become the most happy? In which way to relate to thoughts, to feelings, to money, to my body, to this moment, to friends, to people, to my job? How should I relate to that in order for me to feel the most whole and complete? How should I relate to life itself as if there is something? So yeah, seeking is relationship work.
Hey, Andreas.
Hi,
Hi.
sorry,
Uh,
sorry, David.
did
Yes,
I interrupt it? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Just go on.
I think if David want to say something, he can because I did interrupt it.
No,
I
go
can
on.
I can hold off.
Okay. Okay. So I just want to ask because any moment is like an impression. For example, when you look at some picture, you have some impression, like a feeling of a moment, like impression on it.
Well, only when there is someone.
Yes.
Yes.
And that feeling of I am, which you're talking about, is also an impression.
Yeah, one could say so, yeah. But it doesn't happen to anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. There is nobody outside that impression who knows about that impression.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
The other thing I was going to ask about is in the story there seems to be a regularity, like one day follows the other. The job is the same from day to day, week to week, year to year. Um, but still there is the sense that there's one persisting element at the root of that, or that experiences it.
Yeah, but that's the dream.
Yeah. So the regularity, mm, it only seems to be regularity.
Absolutely. There is no regularity. It's a timeless appearance, which is utterly incomprehensible. And when I say that, it's not a theory. Daily life, or what the person would regard as daily life, that is the incomprehensible appearance. Day to day, sunrise, sunsets, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That is timelessly incomprehensible. And it only seems known to this illusion of me. That would add this sense of knowing that we just spoke about and the sense of continuity to everything.
And familiarity.
And
And
familiarity, yeah, being known. Yep. And it's funny because for the person, it feels so real and it can just collapse and not be there. Boop, everything's gone. And for the person, it is its nature. That's how the world is perceived, as existing, as ongoing, as partly known. And it's
also,
just an illusion. It's just all those impressions come from an illusion, and it can just not be there. Boop. And
or
suddenly
also,
nothing, sorry, and suddenly
sorry,
nothing is known anymore. And suddenly everything is timeless. And nothing is boringly familiar again. Everything is just wild and free.
And alternatively to a quick blipping out, it can be like a bit by bit eroding.
Can happen, yeah, it can happen like that.
Like a slow crumbling.
Yes. But you only know afterwards if you were crumbling. It can't be known really as long as there is someone, because the person will it always regard as a process, as something that happens to it.
But that too would be another story, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Andreas, can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
But how? Because it sounds like when we speak about that feeling of me, of I am, it is made like from the same cloth like any other experience. It is made of, it is experience
Yes,
also,
the
also.
eye, the
But
eye
it
is the
doesn't,
illusion of experience. Yeah.
yeah, and it doesn't goes and comes so frequently. It's like that is the question actually. Like you feel that every other experience comes and goes, but this one doesn't go and come so frequently. You know,
I think that's different in everyone's story.
Mhm. So during the day, for example, maybe there is a moment when that experience is not lived. It's
Yeah,
not,
absolutely. Yeah. And often it's not recognized because there just isn't anyone.
yeah, there isn't anybody behind to recognize it like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Think.
Thank you. It's a problem for the person that there's absolutely no gain in not being there. It's not even recognized often. There's just no one there who recognizes during the day. And those few moments when there is someone there, it feels stable and like a continuity. Question, absence doesn't recognize absence? Yeah, one could say so. Yeah, there's no experience of absence. And of course, liberation isn't a state of absence. It's just that turning out that the presence, that which seemed to stick out, that's not real. But I'm not living in an extra absence, you know. I'm not extra absent. It's not that there is some kind of an empty space in me where in the past the me has resided or something. This black hole where my heart was once. No, there just turns out that there is no one. But it's not flipping over into an absence.
Andreas, what do you mean by impossible to take?
Well, I think especially with those things that which sounds like truth, like everything is whole and complete, or I think the person would love to be able to take that somehow, to to comprehend that completely, to make those things its reality, or that nothing is known. How the me wants to somehow deal with that and take it, or be fine with it. And that's impossible. You can't be fine with everything. The me can't be fine with everything. And it can't be fine really with these meetings. It can't be fine with how it is. It still wants to accept it. It still wants to, it'll never be 100% fine. And when I said these meetings, for example, I think unconsciously the person thinks that there's something wrong here. The person would say, if I would be completely fulfilled, I wouldn't need to be here. If everything would be really good, those meetings wouldn't need to happen. Those meetings are okay because I still feel separate and I'm a seeker and they might give me something, so they have to happen. But unconsciously, the seeker thinks, actually, I shouldn't be here. I should already be fulfilled and not need to come here. So it can't take it, really. The totality of this being everything, being whole and complete, it can't take it as it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, in the seeker's world, it gets worse by those are those very simplified questions. And the war in Ukraine, is this also whole and complete? Yes, it is. Okay, that's hard to take. But yeah, for the seeker, it'll always be unacceptable somehow. Something will be unacceptable. But it's not that I came to a position where I accepted everything. No, the me collapsed. And there's just what seems to be happening. And surprisingly, that's all right. I don't even have to understand if the war is okay or not, or I don't care basically what's okay and what isn't. All right, so there's one question in the chat, last question. When the illusory me falls away, is there only unconditional love? Yes, one could say so, yes. What's left is what seems to be happening, and that's unconditionally whole and complete. That's love. All there is freedom and love, but not as an experience. It's timeless. It's not continuous for someone. It's not that there is someone there who always experiences freedom and love. No, it's the natural, timeless reality. It's a surprise. When there is no one, it's a surprise that whatever happens is whole and complete and free. And the seeker would love to know this beforehand. The seeker would love to know it now and then be done with it. Seeker would love to know now, everything is whole and complete and always love and freedom, so I don't have to bother anymore. And whatever will come and I'll be fine. That's a dream of the person. No, it happens timelessly and freshly, whatever happens. It's always an apparent surprise. Oh, this too. Wow. All right. So that's it. All there is what seems to be happening. There is nothing else. That's the wholeness. That's the fullness. And it doesn't look like any idea or concept. To the person, this is the least expected. And it's what doesn't make sense at all. That this is whole and complete, exactly as it is. The person would always hear, oh yeah, this is wholeness. I still need to see it. No, this is wholeness. This is whole and complete, timeless, not as a solid, fixed wholeness. It's alive, it's wild, it's timeless. And it's only this. Thanks a lot for joining. I wish you a lovely time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Andreas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.